Hello everybody, I thought it'd be a good time to do another 35mm camera review, and what I'm going to be reviewing today is the 1976 Canon AE-1. The AE-1 standing for Auto Exposure 1. This camera is a historically significant camera because it was the first camera in the world to use auto exposure. It was shutter priority, auto exposure, and the way shutter priority works is that you select a speed on your dial here, a shutter speed, and the camera chooses an aperture to match your shutter speed. It would select an aperture that had let enough light through the lens to give you a nice, well exposed, sharp image. How this works on the Canon, as you can see on the kit lens, we've got a little green A for auto exposure, and all we do is we press this little button here, move it away from the speeds and put the dial on the A, lock it into position, choose a speed, shoot at 1000 for the second, and the camera would match 1000 for the second using its light meter to an aperture that would allow the camera to expose the film correctly. So the Canon AE-1, it ranges from 2 seconds to 1000 for the second, giving you plenty of range to play, and it's got a bulb mode as well for any exposures longer than 2 seconds. The camera can also be used in full manual exposure mode, and the way we do this is we simply click in the button here on the A, move it across, and now we're using it the same as any other fully manual SLR, selecting our aperture, selecting our speed, and selecting our film speed to match the film that we put in to the camera. The camera does use, with it being 1976, it uses the old style metering rather than having a light up display of LEDs along the side of the shutter speeds. It has a needle which simply moves up and down, pointing at the recommended aperture on this camera. It doesn't have the shutter speeds, it's a bit different with it being shutter priority, that's my mistake. With it being shutter priority, it moves up and down and selects the recommended aperture. So up the side of there you've got your apertures, so f1.8 to f22, and as you move your shutters up and down you can see the light meter moving up and down. And it also drops into the red at the bottom, which means it's underexposed, and the red at the top meaning that it's overexposed. So that's how the camera works. This button here is your battery test. Click this button in here, you look inside, and the needle will move up and down, the light meter needle. If it's halfway, it means battery's good. If it's any lower than halfway, you should probably think about getting a new battery. This camera takes 4 LR44 batteries that just fit in here. Now with this being my uncle's, he did use it a lot with the flash. Somewhere along the line the hot shoe's gone missing, but I've got my Canon AV1 to hand, and this one still has its hot shoe on it. So here's the hot shoe from the Canon, and this would sit on here, and to open up the battery compartment all you do is slot it off there, move the camera around, and this works as a key fitting in here, opening up your battery compartment where your 4LR44 battery sits. Don't try and open that door with a screwdriver or with your nail, because you'll knock the door straight off its hinge and do some damage, and you don't want to be doing that, especially not on a camera in as good a nick as this. It also works as a cover for your viewfinder if you're doing long exposure photography. If I can just fit it on properly like so, and that covers up there so no backlight can pass through the back of the viewfinder and onto your exposing film. So Canon thought that out very well indeed. What you've got here, your standard rewind crank. To release your film, you've got the little button under here, and get us back in focus. Press the button in, film's released. Wind until your film's done, and you'll know this because you'll feel the tension in the film go. Lift up the rewind crank, open up the door, take your 35mm film out. Camera's got a locking position here on the top. Locked, firing, self-timer. Nice fast shutter. Didn't even see it move there, did you? But trust me, it did fire, because that's at 1,000th of a second. We'll slow it right down to 2 seconds. Nice quick cloth shutter. Very nice camera indeed. Rewind crank back down, up. The viewfinder, like most of these full frame 35mm cameras, which you got to remember, they are full frame. You get a lot more view than you would do on your crop sensor digital camera. Very bright, very wide viewfinder indeed. A very nice camera. Here we've got our depth of field preview button. And with me being on the automatic mode, that's not going to work, is it? So shutter, I don't know if you can really see that, but that's how the depth of field preview works. No, you can't see it, but that is how it works. Got our button for our flash, cable flash. Simply peel this back and it goes in there for your flash sync. It's a bit awkward trying to put that on with one camera in one hand. Okay. And I think that really is just about all I can show you on the Canon AE-1 for a quick review. I'm not comparing it with any other cameras today. This is just a review of a Canon AE-1. So 1976, shutter priority, and I have missed out. I can show you quickly is how to change your ASA speeds. You lift up the dial. I'll put it back round so you can see. So your speeds sit in here. You lift up the dial, move your speeds this way. It goes down to 25 ASA, and it will go up to, let's have a look, see what we can see. It's a bit awkward to change, it's not the easiest to change, but it goes up to ASA 32,000. So the meter's very good meter. You wouldn't need to go any lower or any higher than that really. So there is the Canon AE-1. I would recommend it. It's a very nice camera, built like a tank. Feels metallic, but it's actually plastic painted in a metallic paint. But yeah, can't fault the Canon AE-1. It's a historically significant camera, and it's a very good camera in general, like most of the other Canon A series cameras are. Okay, thanks for watching, and I will be posting a few more videos onto my channel later. Cheers, bye.